All right. And hey, how's it going, everybody? It's been a little bit. Uh, it's been quite a few hectic weeks. How's it going? Hey, Daniel. How you doing, chat? Yeah, it's been a couple of hectic weeks that I am still really honestly still in the midst of. I'm still trying to deal with all the hecticness of work and things. So yeah, just balancing all of that was the main reason as to why I have not been really streaming or even posting like shorts or stuff like that. So I am attempting to just decompress and be like, you know what, I'm going to actually live stream rather than be like, I'll push that off till tomorrow, till Thursday, next week. Like that kept happening. So I am here and I'm gonna try and show up for this. But yeah, that's largely what I have been up to. One other thing is that I have been updating. I haven't just been sitting idle. I have been like tweaking and updating the live stream to a great extent, I guess. Part of it is I tried to improve the audio. I noticed that the audio didn't actually, it was using a weird filter on it. So hopefully that has improved things. Maybe it made things louder. Let me know if you've seen anything. And also, I'm also trying to have chat on the stream. So like baked into the video. That largely is due to like the way that I like to, or mainly interact with with things. Oh, hey, look at that. There you go. Thanks, Daniel. Unfiltered. Yes, it's unfiltered. It was weird because the way that Windows by default adds in a clarity filter to audio sources, I didn't realize that it was doing that because I don't need that. I have a mixer. I really don't need that. So that's one thing. But anyway, the other thing is like, yeah, as you saw, there was an on-screen chat to be able to see what exactly was going on and what I am responding to. So I'm not sure on how I feel about it and whatnot. We're going to try it out. Let me know how y'all feel about it, both here in live stream or here live and also in the VOD, because again, my motivation is through I watch a lot of VODs. That's mainly how I consume live streams, is through VOD content. So I do appreciate having the chat on the stream there, but me as a streamer, well, it's me streaming to the internet and the internet is the internet. So that's one thing where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. As well as just like trying to make it so that it aesthetically fits the rest of the stream, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so what I am planning on doing, let me see if I am forgetting anything. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Yes. Anyway, what I'm planning on doing is, it's really actually a fairly unplanned stream. The main thing that I was planning on doing, I originally was thinking of like, oh, what if I tried to tie something into work? So I was going to work on the rebinding system because I need to actually implement that soon into a project. So I was like, what if I go back, clean it up and do that? But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it mentally. I was just exhausted and whatnot. So I basically made the choice where I was like, okay, well, if I were to work on something, what is something that is low stress, low stress, low not thought process, but like just not having to deal with integrating with other current projects at the moment. So I'm gonna just get back to working on that console manager stuff that I was working on. I have 2 things that I want to work on with it, and then after that, it's kind of a catch-all. I don't know. We're gonna just kind of go with the flow thing. So we'll see how all that goes. But let's see if I remember how things are. Also, let me know if the music is too loud, because again, that's one of the things that has changed with the audio updates. But yeah, so we're back here. Well balanced, sweet. All right, so back here this time. So let's actually just do a really quick recap of what this thing is. So as you can see, this is just a console terminal thing that will happen inside, or not inside. It will happen. What am I trying to say? You can call this terminal in a build. That's what I'm really trying to say. You can call up this terminal in a build. And what this does is it'll tell you information about what's going on in the build without it having to be a developer build. I like to not have developer builds for certain things. For certain things, I do like developer builds, especially for profiling and stuff. But other things, I don't really need that, or I want to just have a little bit more flexibility in an easy drag and drop solution, as I do with all of my tools. Which is, I guess, ironically, something I was like, oh yeah, I don't really want to have to deal with trying to integrate things. This is so far removed from trying to be integrated into something right now. That's kind of where I'm at. So I am, but yeah, this is what this is. You can go in here. You can see, well, yeah, let's look at the console here. So you'll see debug messages that'll appear. In this case, I just have buttons that are assigned to these, but you can see, oh, look, a debug message. It has the timestamp. It very much looks like the debug console of Unity itself. And I can throw up an error or a warning and whatnot, all that stuff. You can filter things out. I don't want to see any warnings. I just want to see the errors or something like that. So that's really nice. You can make it compact, so you can just see these things at a glance. Which is really nice. There you go, full view. Or you can just open and close things on click. So that's also one other thing that I worked on. And then the last thing that I was working, oh, and you can also expand to full screen or this partial thing. But the other thing that I was working on last time was a terminal view. And in the terminal view, you can type in stuff that you can type in things that you would want to do like basically cheats. One of those things, actually, this is one of the things that I want to do today, is add in a help function. So you can say like either command help or /help or help. One of those things, and then it'll show you a list of the commands in which you can like access and stuff. I need to figure out a way to standardize that and make it like dead simple to make commands, so that you can just like integrate this. Anybody can integrate into this stuff. No one has to know how all of this stuff works. It just you can just like attach to it, something like that. That's largely the thing that I want to try and do, but that is what it is. But I believe I have one that is called set value, and then if you just say set value and you put in a number here, it'll be like, it's set the value to that number. Or you can say set value, and then you'd be like, oh, some words, and it's like, ooh, this actually requires a number. Or you can just completely screw that up, and it's like, well, I don't know what you're trying to do here, kind of thing. So that is largely the thing that I've been that we did last time. So what I want to do is I want to actually add in timestamps for this, which I think will be pretty nice to be able to see when you put in these commands, and then be able to have a help function, both in saying help, like typing out help, saying help, that kind of help, or /help, something like that, or having a button up here that's like click help, and then it gives you a list of all of the functions and stuff. So that is what I'm gonna be working on. All right, uh, with all of that said, yeah, I guess I can just get started working on this. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the timestamp stuff. Let's go and see that. Also, because I love to shout out those whose work I really like. Thanks again, Ben Burns, for the chill music in the background. Really do appreciate it. So what I'm gonna do, let's try and figure out, how do I want to do a timestamp thing? I have too many windows open. We do this. Whoops. There we go. We do this. Also, let me get rid of some of these windows. I don't need that up. Okay. I think that's fine. Okay. So, also, how's it going out there? I realize I just immediately was like, I'm just going. How's it going out there for everyone else? What are y'all up to? All right. When I say submit command, okay, let's say, yeah, you submit the command and then you parse the command. And you say if it's successful, get the result of executing the command. Yes, and then yep, and then we put that there. And before we do this, we should probably get the time. So I think I can actually just get time dot. Actually no, I don't want to do time dot whatever. Let's look at how do we do the view? Not the view. Console display. Might be console debug. Essentially, oh yeah, that's right. It should be up here. Essentially what I'm trying to check is, how do I get the time stamp for the things? Doing okay, just vibing, finishing up things for your stream. Nice. Oh yeah, you are streaming in 45 minutes, 40 minutes, somewhere around there. Well, I hope your stream goes well. All right, the execute command. Why does it seem like, because I don't want that. I want the console manager, and that just doesn't exist. Why do I just have a console manager that doesn't exist? You don't need the countdown. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, you have infinite time and you don't have to worry about it at all. Let's see, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? But also, where is this console debug stuff? I guess it's display, because it has the prefab, and the prefab has the there. Yeah, this this part. Okay, there's all this. Message, stack trace. There we go. Yep. Message, timestamp. Debug message. There it is. Okay. Now I'm remembering. Go in here. Yep. Date, time, now. So I would have, I guess I could do this. And then when I say this, I go, bam, date, time, now. I'll actually string. Let me actually write the time. Time equals date, time, now. To string. How do I want to? I think I should say, yeah. Too long. I don't want to do the long one, but short time string. I'll do that. And then you put in time plus yeah, this plus that. I don't really like that. What if I instead was like this? Put it in square brackets plus command. There we go, /n. There we go. I think that should do it. There we go. Yeah, I like that. We're going to go check and see if this works. Okay, so just type whatever. There we go. Yeah, that's more or less what I was looking for. I think we, do we want a longer time? What's too long time string look like? It's just really nice to be able to know when you type those things in so that you can be like, ah, yes, that was a recent thing. Okay. I think long isn't that bad. It gives you a little bit more context. Because, yeah, those two things would be the same if you just type in short. Okay, yeah, I like that. All right, so we got that. And now I want... What do I want? Do I want to have it so that the ending text... Yeah, do I want to have the ending text, the resulting text, to also have a timestamp on it? I'm like, set value requires a number. Set value 23. Do that. Oh, right. I'm typing using the command buttons that I've made. Yeah. I mean, I think that's fine. I think it probably should have a stamp on there. All right, and let's do that. Yeah, so we do the command. We're gonna, yeah, okay. We say string. Oops. And then we say whoop. Time. Result. There. Let's see if this looks okay. I am a little worried that it's not going to look okay. It's going to have the same problems that we have, or I have, with the default console stuff. All right, set value. That. Oops. That. Yeah, I mean, couldn't find the thing. Yeah. Why do I feel weird about this one? And value value. I don't know. Do I like that or not? Because if I had it so that, let's say that I had it so that actually this is a thing that I had to deal with. I had to deal with basically a grid system, and then I need to output its neighboring, like a certain cell's neighboring cells, but I wanted to do that through essentially ASCII art, and I couldn't do that, or I had to make like an adjustment for the debug view of it, because it, like, I would have it so that like the first row above the grid would show up on the first line, and then the one that, you know, that contains the actual grid cell shows up on the next line, and then one that's below it shows up below the line. But like all of that stuff would be skewed because there's the timestamp there. That's that's partially the reason why I'm like, ooh, do I want to have the timestamp there? Because we'll just run into the same problem. Like if I were to, whoops, geez, adding so many things. If I were to go here and let's say add a number /n, or as a number, please insert a number there, something like that. Then I was like /set value. Ooh, it didn't even do it. Oh, set health. That's why it didn't do it. Set health. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, it starts out on the same line, and then then it goes to the next line, but it doesn't start in line with each other. That's the thing that I'm like, do I want to have that on there? I don't know. Because if I don't have that on there, essentially do this. Click play. There we go. I go set health. Yeah, and now you can see it lines up and whatnot. I do like that it does line up, and then I don't have to, you know, like, you're not thinking of the formatting to be able to do that. And health 15. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, for now, let's go with this. And then as I use this, or if I come back to it and I'm like, ooh, why does it not have the time? I think that's probably going to be the move, because again, this is not the debug console or like the console log stuff. That's what this is for. Oh, it's because I keep typing the oh no, that's because of that. Oh, right. I had that set up to show up there. Anyway, and yeah, you can see it down here. Anyway, but yeah, that's what this is for. Is like, this is for the like detailed console log of things, but like this is for cheats and other like debug options and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Something to think about. Anyway, at any rate, I think that I'm good here. And I think I will start working on the help feature. That was fairly quick to add in that. I figured that it would be fairly quick to add in that, but yeah, let's work on the help feature. Geez, too many things. Excuse me. One of the side effects of stressing out over work and whatnot is I am often very tired. Nothing new, but it doesn't help. so that is something that I'll have to keep in check. So let's see. I mean, one thing, yeah, and this is the thing that I'm like, all of this I would rather not have inside of this class. Oh yeah, that's definitely healthy. Stress streams. Oh yeah, that's very healthy, having all the stress streams. I feel I feel like that's probably not the healthiest. Yeah, I definitely don't want to have all of this stuff inside of this class. Particularly because it has all this other logic in here. Like, I don't want you to mess with any of this other logic. I want you to just deal with whatever stuff that you're like, oh yeah, I want to unlock all the levels, or I want to do all of that stuff. I want to give access to. So how do I want to make that part work? I don't know. I don't want to display that information. Do I make that a separate thing? Because the easy way for me to do this here is case/help, I guess. Either that or case help or case help. There you go. And then we have all those. Do that, and then it just says here the result equals. Well, for now, just helped you. Really helpful there. But yeah, like, if I think about it, it would be really nice if I can like pre-format that stuff so that you don't, like, whatever the project is doesn't have to do all that formatting. That would be nice too. Anyway, helped you. Help. Help. Yeah, all those now to say, hey, I helped you. So yeah, that's kind of the idea here. But that's like the easy way to do that. I think it probably makes sense to not do this. Or at least abstract a lot of this stuff so that, like, I can format this to, like, make this a little bit more systematic. Yeah. Okay, well, let me think. How do I want to deal with this? Well, while I think, I will take a sip. Yeah, okay, inline command. Right. I guess what I could do is make another class. I can either make this a partial class or make another class. I think I should make another class. which would then make this like something you can systematically deal with. Yeah, and then you basically are filling in the tools. Yeah, you fill in the tools. You can make your own custom one. Okay, so what I'm thinking is you have a class that anybody can just be like, I'm making a cheats class or whatever, like whatever this cheats menu, terminal menu class is called. I'm making one of those for levels or whatnot. I'm making like an unlock levels thing. That's what I want to do. Then you can just fill in all the information about this thing. So you can say, here's the command that I'm expecting. Here's the variable type that I'm expecting. And then here's what it's going to do if you send that over. Yeah, if you send that over, and then I can have it so that it will automatically check to see whether or not it's the correct variable or not. And like all of that stuff, like all of this stuff that I do here, it would be nice to just be like, this is just baked into the class. The only thing that a person who's like, I'm wanting to make a new thing happen needs to deal with is this part, or not this part, this part. Because the other thing is like, oh yeah, I can just be like, you know, all of this stuff is just stuff that it would be nice if it just automatically did that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that structure. I like what it does. It makes it so that it's less work on the person implementing this. Or I guess implementing a brand new idea into this commands list. And then you just get baked in things like help. And then you also like, I can also have it so that this stuff is pre-formatted. So if you do type in help, I can be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, based off of the things that you inserted here. Okay. I like that. I like that idea. Now I just have to figure out what was the best way in which to execute said idea. I guess that's kind of always how that goes. Let's say for now, bug, I don't know, puzzle through these. Oh, thank you. I don't know. You don't know what I'm talking about, but you know, yeah, I have the same thoughts. Yeah, no, I totally am aware that, well, one, even if you did understand what I was working on, I might not be saying complete thoughts or sentences. So that's one thing. But yeah, I'm totally aware that, you know, some of this stuff isn't necessarily a thing that everybody is going to understand because, you know, that's game dev. Sometimes you're not like a programmer. Sometimes you're an artist. Sometimes you're a musician and whatnot. And when people are talking about, you know, the things relating to color theory or music theory or whatever kind of thing, it is kind of nice just to be like, you're working through this problem of this thing that I'm not entirely sure, but I can tell that you're having the same like style of conversations that I would have in my discipline, which is, yeah, I also agree. It's kind of reassuring. Okay, so let's go about doing this stuff. What's the naming scheme? On here, debug terminal. All right, we're gonna say debug terminal command. Yeah. Debug terminal command. Okay. Although this does have inline command, right? Yeah. Okay. Huh. So, at least I know it has public string and public string. Oh yeah, this does not need to be the model behavior. There. Need a command. What do we need? Oh, type. Type. I wonder, can you specify that, or do I have to make it an enum? I don't know. We'll see. Or like, is there a drop down? It's like, oh yeah, here's the types. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make an enum. Never mind. Never mind. I already know that. We have that, and then we have command expected type. I'll make the enum now. Terminal command tape. Sure. None. Class? No. Integer, float, string, bool. That's what it was. Bool. In. Guess I should probably do this in rising. Rising whatever. Wait, type, there we go. Expect the type. String tool, not tool tip. I guess, yeah, tool tip. Yeah, do I want to say tool tip or instructions? Like, what does this do? I don't know. We'll do this. I think these three things are really the three things that we'd have to deal with. Because essentially, like if I go back here and I go type in set value to that, yeah, essentially I would just, oh, and I need the command. That is a virtual thing that I can do. Virtual, and this should be an abstract class. I'll just type in stuff for now. We'll deal with that later. Virtual public void. Yeah, so then this would be where you type in react to the command. Let's think. Do I like this currently? I think I kind of do. Because yeah, essentially this is, I'm trying to replace, the goal here is to replace these, all of these things that exist, replace all of that so that it is, a lot of this stuff is either automatic or I can like systematically deal with these things. And there's just like a lot of built-in systems to be like, hey, you want to make a new command? Yeah, no problem. Here are the things at which you need to make said new command. And it's just like, yeah, this is the list of things that you need to make the new command. And that's why I'm like, oh yeah, I can have it so that there's a new class. But I don't know if I like 100% like that. Well, let's at least try it out. Okay, so yeah, we have this. We have this. I think what I want to do now is instead of, or I just get a list of these things. Oops, not here. I don't know. I still have that up. Let me get rid of these other ones. I have a list of these things and then I go through that list. Yeah, I go through that list, see what the command state is. Okay, so let's try it. Oops, public list. Yeah. Actually, I kind of want to make this its own thing. Hit command. Ooh, I guess I should take it an inline, not a. Debug. Console. No. Terminal command. Command. Oh. I rename this to target. Command. And I call this command. Equals. Hit command. Target command. Okay, if command equals no. And do this. So I did that. I close this. Whoops, double tapped. Whoops. We go, I guess the terminal's here. And then here are the commands. I don't actually want this to be visible inside of here because the command, like the one thing about commands is like I can go in here and be like unlock all levels or something like that. I could do that, and then I'm expecting nothing. And then yeah, the tooltip is unlocks all levels. It could be like that. That one's very straightforward. Unlocks all levels and challenge levels. I don't know. It's something around these lines. So yeah, I could do something like that. The issue is that if I want this to actually do something about this, well, that's a problem. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually not do any of that stuff, and we're just gonna check this, just to see. Hey, did you find the thing? Else result equals found command success equals and success. Yeah, we just do that. This is just test. Click play. And then I say blah, couldn't find it. And then I say unlock all levels. Found it. Okay, so like, yeah, that does work. It's just it doesn't set this up in the way that I like, or in a way that I like. I want this to be something that you can just set up probably inside of some other class. That's just like, here's a list, command list. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Why did I like that? I make a list. It's just this list, like a command list, and this is where you put in all of the stuff, and then this is where I look at the list of commands that you have, and then I can systematically, and it's like I basically am making it so that it's type. It's a type feature, and then okay, I am starting to think that I like this idea. but we'll have to see how this goes. Okay. Oh, also, let me, if target command function equals, for now, if it's help result equals, actually no, what I want to do is found command /n plus command dot tooltip. Actually, I don't even know if I want to do that. What if I just did these? And then we'll see how that looks. Also, you know, I kind of want to have a different background just because I'm getting a little bit tired of this same background. So I'm just going to have a different background. Game canvas, go here, and then we go and grab this. Oh. Grab this. Look at that background. Actually, let's get another background. Do I want another hyperdot background? I feel like I should get something else. You know? I know what background I should grab. Get one of these backgrounds. Oh, and it's already that cool. Look at that. More than you can chew. Shout out to Daniel. All right, now I say help. Well, no, I don't want help. I want unlock all levels. Boom, and then it'll show me unlock all levels and challenge levels. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that, well, like, it's really nice because I am now systematically or procedurally, systematically grabbing this information. So I just have, here's the command, here's the tooltip, and I can format that however I want as like me, as me. And then I make it so that it's very easy for somebody to be like, all right, I'll just do all this stuff, and then it just automatically gets added to the help function. It automatically does all the checks, the Boolean checks and stuff. It automatically does all that stuff. All I need to care about is I get the correct information. Like you just said, you just assume, oh, I got the stuff. That's I got the information that I wanted from this. So yeah, I like that idea. So now I got to figure out how exactly that is. This is, oh, well, impressive. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is, it is definitely something that I'm interested in and interested in doing, because I would love, like, for instance, love to be able to do this where, if I was working in More Than You Could Chew, I could just drag in this prefab, and then I have this whole console debug menu, just like in and ready, and you don't have to do anything, and you just get a bunch of stuff for free. So like all of these warnings and whatnot, all these things that just show up, it's just in there. You can call it whenever you want by just like pressing, I don't know, the tilde key or something like that. You can call that, and then if we wanted, yeah, we can go in here and add in debug commands and things like that. That would be so nice. And if you wanted to do all that stuff, boom, or like have all that stuff, it's like really easy for somebody to go in and add new commands if you want. Oh, thank you. Really appreciate it. Oh yeah, you have to bounce because you have your own stream that you have to deal with. Well, good luck on your stream, Daniel. I appreciate you stopping by. But that's partially the motivation here. So like, yeah, I'm working on some new project. I'm working on More Than You Could Chew, and I'm like, I would love to have all of these like commands and whatnot, debug console, all this information just ready at a moment's notice. As soon as we're like, okay, it's ready, let's do this project, and then I just be like, boop, and then it's just inside of the thing. So nice. So let's see. Also, the other thing I'm thinking about, I might get sidetracked a little bit, is to cap the length of these so that it's like, oh yeah, this is only 3 tall, or like, oh yeah, this is only whatever, however much tall that we want. And then you can open and close, like you have multiple steps there. Might do that later. Later. For now, let's focus in on this. Okay. So yeah, I think that's the thing that I'm thinking about is how do you interface with this as a, like, say, yeah, that you're a programmer and you're trying to interface with this console stuff. How do you add a new command? And how do I make it so that it is it's easy to do. It's easy to add a new command, but it's also something that I can be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm expecting, and we're good, kind of thing. Well, let's see. This here, yeah, we have the tooltip and you found the command. I can be like expecting a bool or whatever. Then I can do things that are like universal. So this stuff here that I was doing here is like is float, is whatever, is whatever. Yeah, I could. I could just have it so that it just, yeah, it would parse that. Command dot expected type, right? And I just look for get the expected type, yeah. Thinking about this, though, as I am thinking about it, I am realizing I do need to go to the bathroom. So I will think about this. Sorry, getting sidetracked. Still thinking about it. No, let me go to the bathroom, and then I'll come back with more thoughts on how exactly to pull this off. But yeah, I'm having some fun. It's nice to be able to be like, yeah, I'm having some fun trying to tackle these problems, trying to figure out what makes the most sense. But I do need to go to the bathroom, so BRB. Okay, and I'm back. All right. So, so what I was working on is trying to figure out what makes the most sense to deal with all of these like different commands and stuff, making it so like if I was another programmer on the project, how do I make it so that it's really easy for me to make a new command and the like. So I didn't actually come up with anything or anything like that while I was away. But I think that there might be or I guess the thing I should probably do is just again do the quick and dirty version of it, like just be like, let's have something there so that I can test and I can be like, oh, this feels good, this doesn't feel good. That's more or less what I should probably do. So that's what I'm going to do. Right now I have it so that I get the command. Let's have it so that you can or test if whatever the command or whatever the variable is the type that it's expecting. So let's do that. Okay, so that means something. That means, well, I have the command, then I can get the expected type. So let's just say I can make this a little bit prettier later. Command dot expect type. I realize I didn't do switch. There we go. Command dot expected type. There we go. Now we have all those. And then if there's none, then just get out of here. If there's a Boolean, if it's expecting a Boolean, I then need to test if it says true or false, T or F. Yeah. If target command dot variable do I do try parse? I don't think I do try parse here. I do just string. To lower equals true. Can I just do that to false? I don't think I can do that now. True, false, T, F. Oops. If not, then I guess if it does not equal this or this or this, and oh, what am I doing? Does not equal there. There we go. If it does not equal this, and doesn't equal this, and it doesn't equal this. This feels clunky. But again, I literally just said quick and dirty. Then let's do the hey. Bam. Okay, so we do that, and then we break out of this. We just check for warnings. That's largely what we're checking. Expecting true. Boolean. False. Something like that. Yeah, we'll do warning. Do this. Oops, wrong button. This one. Do this and then say command. Oops. That command is X a Boolean value. Okay. Here, let's actually make a easier one to type out, so I don't have to keep on writing unlock all the time. So yeah, let's have unlock, but let's also have test, and test will be Boolean, and this is a test variable or test function. You test the different aspects of commands. But yeah, that's like what I just did there is essentially what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to have it so that, like, there we go. Found test. Cool. Yeah, I'm basically trying to see whether or not I found an error or a warning. Did I find the expected result? I should probably have this be in a thing here. Let me go put this thing inside of a function that returns a bool. Bool. Found as correct type. So I need a command. This is the thing that I can deal with later. As warning. I guess I don't actually need to put in the result here. I could just be like, oh, wrong, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I could just be like, let's not do this result here. Instead, I just say no. Just break, or not break, return. False. guess. We'll just do break. Break. I can type. I can type. I really should be using the back of my chair. There we go. Anyway, so we have this here. Return false. And then if none of those things fire, then we say return true. If this is just, yeah. And then this is command, target command. Result equals. If you don't have the correct type, result equals. Again, equals something. Warning. Command. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that. Click save. Oh wait, no, we don't save this. Hold up. Success equals command. Next warning. Else. Again, quick and dirty version. Bram. Bram. There we go. And we do this. We let this recompile. Click play. And then we say test. Boom. Test. Oh. Test. There. Expects a Boolean. Okay. Test. Boom. It expects a Boolean. Test false. There we go. Test true. Test true. Okay. Okay. I like that. Now let's switch this up and say instead of Boolean, we're testing for an integer. Again, let's do a very bad if try part oh int try parse target to command variable how do we out and result if not, return false. Okay, click play. And then we do test. Expects an integer, a test with 15. Boom. Test with 15. Everyone that. And ooh, it's expecting an integer. There we go. Okay. Cool. And then we can text the float. I mean, basically, this should be the exact same, except in int, it's a float. I'll say int result, and then float result, float. There we go. And then the last one, if string dot is null or empty, target command variable, return false. And then yeah, if it is anything else or if it's none, then just have it so that yeah, it just moves on. Dope. Okay, so we do test. This is expecting a float. Test that's fine. Test there we go. I'm going in here testing for the string. Now if I say test, expecting a string, test, blah, boom, test, blah. That is also that's also fine, I think. Is if it has numbers in it, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. Ooh, I'm just now also realizing another thing that I could have is like have stepped commands. So like say that you say, you know, like start or like new dialogue or something like that. You say new dialogue and then it'll give you a bunch of inputs as if you're talking into a terminal. It'll give you a bunch of inputs where it's like, all right, well, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that. Or like, okay, to start this dialogue, here's the wizard to be able to do this. Essentially, here's the setup wizard to do this. Then you have it so that it's like, okay, I need a speaker, like somebody who is talking, and then I need what they say, like those two things, and then you can input whatever that is. That is a good thing to note for future stuff. Let me do that. Okay, yeah. Setup wizard class multi-step commands. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. All right, but yeah, that is working in terms of like, yeah, just being able to automatically tell what exactly you're expecting in terms of commands. I can't think of anything else that you might be needing there. Like, yeah, what else would you need here? In terms of types. It would be one thing if this was like, if this was an editor script inside of the Unity editor, then I'd have to be like, well, I'm expecting it could be any type, but this is just text. I am just caring about text, and the only things that I'm really parsing are like, yeah, numbers, whether or not it's Boolean, I guess, and then if it is a string, yeah. And I guess the other thing that I should also say is that if test expects a float, the format that it says the format that it says is, or that should show up in the help, right? So it should be like command is test, and then however I format that test, you insert whatever number, Boolean or thing, and then give the description of what that is. Yeah, and then I can also have it so that this could exist as a separate window that you can click help, and then it shows like a list of things or something. That also could work. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry for all the yawning. I'm realizing I am more tired than I thought. But that's how it goes. Well, let's try and get this help stuff working. And whatnot. Oh, hey, Evie. How's it going? Okay, so we got test. Look at that test. It's looking for a string. I say test. Check me out. Boom, and then and it worked. Okay. Okay, so I do that. So now what I want to do is, instead of typing out found the command and then I have this whole thing, I say instead command successful, just for now again. Ooh. And now I'm gonna print out, yeah, command was successful. I don't actually need to say the command again. I'll just say command was successful. And then I go and say, not public here. I want to say what? If inline command, no, not inline command, if target command function equals help for now. Instead of doing this whole testing all the commands and stuff. Oh yeah, I do want to do this before this. Saves on processing. Equals help, result equals something, result equals actually no, it's plus equals, or hold on, yeah, I should do this, or commands count results plus equal commands I command plus I dot tooltip slash n. Oh. Slash n. There we go. Plus slash n. Save that. Oh no, not save it. Success. Success. And click this, do that, click play. I want a more robust help thing like I did earlier. Help was not, you couldn't find it. That's not exactly what I was looking for. Help. Not sure there. Why is that not working? So if I say if the function equals help, do this. Oh, and I need to return or return results. Yeah, I need to bounce out of this early. That's all I was really checking here. I click this, I click that. Okay, and then I say help. There we go. Okay, so that does work. It does work. I need to, or I want to not have this extra space on here, but the way in which I do that is, if there's more, I guess, result, or no, if commands I plus, if I plus 1 is less than commands account, and result plus equals slash n. Yeah, I think that should work. Click save. Let it compile. Click play. Type in help. Boom, it didn't. It did not work. Oh, if it's less than or equal to, whoops. Every time. There you go, click play. Okay, and then I say, help. No, it still did it. Okay, so if I didn't do this, is it still gonna do it though? Yeah, through the things, if it's commands account. Unreachable code, what? What do you mean it's unreachable, huh? Oh, I'm putting this in the wrong spot. Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm glad that I saw that as a problem. Again, I say test. Oops, not test, it's help. Help. Oh, and then it does that. Okay, so, oh, okay, so it just was not doing the things correctly because it was adding the new space, but then, yeah, okay, all right. Click play. And then I say help. Boom. All right, now we have the help. You can see the help. And the point here is that I can now format this to be however I want this to be systematically. So let's do that. Do this, and then do a little bit of that. Okay, so we got command. Tooltip. Right? Yeah. And then instead, what I do is bold. Oh, man, not bold. There we go. Oh, change the, I could even change the color. Green. Dash green, or color. What if I did cyan? I think cyan is a color that I can do as a default. We'll see. Click play. Click play. There we go. And then I go and click help. Okay, yeah, it's not. It has to be something else. I don't want to do blue. Isn't that? I'll do green. All right, go in here, click play, boom. All right, so now, yeah, it's very easy to tell. Oh, these are the commands. Also, it did not cap it off at the end there, which I am noticing now. This does not need to be here. This should be out here. All right, we got I plus 1. If I plus 1 is less than count, should not be equals, because if it's equals, then you should be adding to the thing, right? Okay, click play. And then you click help. Boom, there we go. Now we don't have that extra line at the bottom, but yeah, this is more of a proof of concept to be able to format this to be however I want, which is kind of nice. That like this is more or less like I can just be like, oh yeah, I don't have to do too much. Like I just inserted all of these things and then it just worked. I can also start to feed in other information, I should say, expecting a Boolean. Yeah, like what does it expect? Reformat art. Yeah. It does look, I mean, it is kind of satisfying to be able to see that. And if I do this, yeah, just reacts to things anyway. But yeah, that's the one thing that I do like. I do like that. But I can start to incorporate the other information that I need, where it's just like, oh, okay, here's this information about this command. I can format it however I want. And if some other programmer was like, I'm making a new command, they don't have to go in and do all this formatting and add it to the help function and all that other stuff. They can just be like, I'm just making this command, and then the command just works, or all that stuff is just added to it. That's the goal here. And that's really nice that is semi working. At least the theory behind the class is working. The way in which you make the class, that is still a thing up in the air that I have to kind of figure out. But that is exciting. So yeah, I guess let's think about how do I want to deal with that part, i.e. how do I want to have it so that like something is added. You add stuff. I'm another programmer and I want to add a new class, or not a new class. I want to add a new function to the cheats menu, essentially. I want to add in that unlock all levels. I want to add in the set health, the whatever insert thing here. Well, yeah, let's think about it. So, I want to do that. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we have the help function. We have the check error part. Yeah, we have the check error part, and then we have the... Yeah, I think it's just that. So if I wanted to make a new one, I like this idea where I was like, oh yeah, here's a command, not the command. Here's the terminal command list. Like say that I was like, all right, I'm going to make this new one. I'm just a random programmer who's not dealing or interfacing with this console stuff or this terminal stuff. I just want to make a new idea or like a new function. Then I just go to the class that is just like terminal command list or something like that. And then I can just add a new one without really much thought. And that's the thing that I'm kind of not sure on. I can add a new one without much thought, and like this part happens. I can execute said command. that's the harder part. Command successful. Then I would just be like command.execute command, right? I do the thing. Yeah, I do the thing. I don't know. So let's go here, click play, and yeah, let's just try and figure that part out. So I'm like test. Oh, it's expecting to float. Whoops. Here's that. Command successful. Cool. So it worked, and it also fired off the command that I just did, but I don't actually have anything that can prove that. So let's actually prove that. Debug.log. Success. Oh, there we go. Save. Click the play button. That. Click the play button. Go to test with some numbers. There we go. And now if I go here, success shows up there. And yeah, this is where I'm talking about, where I'm like, ooh, what if I limited this to to 3 total? That would be nice. Okay. But yeah, that did work. just now need to figure out how do I want to deal with this elsewhere. I think, yeah, if I had a... Even if I had it so that there was like a template for you, I think that would be also ideal. But like somewhere where I can define these things. How do I want to do that? Also, the light from my window is shining on my computer monitor. One sec. Okay, that's better. All right. Oh, it's still there. Oh, hold up. There we go. Now it's gone. I think I like the idea of... What do I like the idea of here? Actually. Yeah, I want to replace this, all of this, somewhere else. So it's not inside of here. So if I just made a new class that you would be able to do, be like, all right, we have all this stuff. I checked all of these things. Now I'm like, do the thing. Do the function. I mean, yeah, essentially that's what this is. The thing that, yeah, I guess I'm glossing over here is the get command part. Because I'm like, how do I make the new commands? I could make, yeah, if I made a command list, it just had a list of all the commands. You can make those commands inside of that. Is that all right? Well, no, I don't think that that's all right, because if I wanted to make, if I wanted to make my own custom one for whatever project I'm doing, I would try and copy over that project, or not that project. I'd try and copy over the console stuff, but then there was a bunch of baggage from the other console or the other project associated with it. Yeah, okay. Just gotta think about this. Think through. Sorry, I'm not making nearly as much progress on this, but sometimes it's like this, where you just are trying to figure out what exactly you're trying to do and figure out what's the best way to tackle that thing. It also, again, doesn't help that I am very tired. Okay. Okay, I think I like the idea of having a custom class that you then can populate. It's either a custom class or a partial class that you can then populate. You populate it with its own custom stuff, and then, or like, there's a function that's just essentially like create commands, and then there you are adding to the commands list. And you're saying like, here's a new command, and then just adds it to the list of command or things. I think that could work. I think it would solve the problems. Yeah. Oof, I don't know. It's also very evident that I might be struggling on this largely just because I'm very tired. So I might call it rather than sit here trying to figure this out. Like, how do I want to best structure this? Again, largely the main problem is, I guess to almost do a recap. But the main problem is that like I want to have it so that say I was a random programmer on a project that has this console stuff in here, and I'm like, I want to make a new cheat or I want to make a new debug thing. I don't want you to have to like know a bunch of stuff about this, like this feature, the whole terminal and all that stuff. The only thing that I would want you to have to deal with is essentially this part is just like fill in whatever command you're looking for. Like, so I'm looking for unlock all items, and then what you're expecting the person to give you, which is in this case it would be none for unlock all items. But if it's like set health to, and then I'm expecting an integer or something, and then give a tooltip of like what this command or what does this command actually do. Just tell me what the command actually does. Cool. And then here, then give me this function here that is just essentially like, all right, now this is what happens when the command actually works. And here's the value or whatever thing that you were looking for. yeah, that's largely what I am trying to do here. And essentially the thing that I am struggling to figure out is like, how do I make it so that that process is like really easy? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that's largely what I want to do, is just like, hey, just give me these 4 pieces of information and then I'll handle the rest. And like all of that stuff, like the fact that this, or when I type in help, like that will just automatically be on there. You know, you don't have to worry about the formatting or whatever. Or if I type in like, I do test, I'm like, oh, hey, I was looking for a float. Like that part is already automatically handled. You don't have to deal with all that stuff. I'm dealing with all that stuff. That's largely what I'm trying to do. And that's the thing I'm not entirely sure. Oh, I guess I can show that there. Like that's the thing I'm not entirely sure. Right there. There. The thing I'm not entirely sure of, like, how do I get to the point where the thing that is shown here on the right is the thing that is shown on the right is I guess something that you can type inside of the code without having to, like, suddenly you're looking at all of this code. And I'm like, no, I don't want you to see all this code or mess with all of this code, because I don't want you to accidentally screw something up here. All I really care about is you filling out these 4 things. And then from there, I'll handle it from there. So that's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. That's the thing that I'm kind of struggling with. By kind of, I mean, really. But I think that it is partially due to the fact that I am tired. So I will do the one last recap, which is we did do some stuff. One major thing that I did was just de-stress from a stressful work week. Thank you. A stressful work week. I guess a couple of work weeks. It's been really nice to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to work on this, but it is kind of evident that I'm tired. But we have a thing that allows us to go in and say, like, yeah, do this. We now have timestamps on when you do that. Here, I'll actually make this bigger because it is kind of small. We now have timestamps for when you do that. And then we also have it so that we can just like test, and it will give you an automatic, like, oh, hey, we were expecting this type of thing. We were expecting this type of variable and whatnot. That is kind of nice. And then the last thing is unlock all levels. Oh, I guess there's 2 things. One, I can also execute commands and whatnot, and then I can also say help, and then it'll automatically show all of the different commands without you having to do anything, which is really nice. So yeah, but with that, I do think that I'm going to call it here and get some rest here. But yeah, I appreciate everybody from stopping by. I'm glad that I was able to get back into streaming, even though it wasn't for as long as I was hoping, but hey, that's how it goes. But yeah, more or less, that's it. Let me see if I do remember how to end these. There we go. Yeah, that's the button. All right. Well, I appreciate you. Yes, I will get some rest. Thank you, Envy, for stopping by. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all later.